Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pits of Motor Chaos. It's Joe's Dave. I got online special guest, drag racer Sarah Morgan Brown. How you doing, Sarah?
I'm doing just fine. How about yourself, Dave?
I'm good. I bet you're anxious to start drag racing again, huh?
Oh, goodness. This weather, I'm itching. I got the call yesterday that the motor's ready to go back in, and so this whole first day of spring isn't making things life good.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question, Sarah. How did it all begin for you to get into drag racing?
It's embarrassing for those. I apologize, but actually I was an import girl, and when I was in high school, I hung around a bunch of import guys, and it all started when I was 15. I had a Honda Prelude that turned into a respectable little Honda Prelude. And then in 2004, my dad had built the Firebird that I currently drive today, and he decided to put me in it. And I'll tell you, I think it was the worst mistake of his life because it went from a high 11-second car to a low 8-second car.
So what year is that car?
It's an 84.
And what kind of engine?
It has a 565 big block.
All right. So now, what's the quickest ET you've had with that car?
885 at 155.
Now, do you only run at Great Lakes Dragway, or do you go to other tracks too?
Other tracks, I race at the Grove, GLD. Sometimes at Byron. I haven't been there in a while. And I did have the honor of racing at 66 once before, and that was the best day of my life.
Well, tell us about the experience of racing at 66.
Oh, I broke the car that day, but I went in. Before I broke it, I drove through that tunnel and just sitting there waiting for them to pull you into the burnout box, and you just look out, and between the blue sky and the sun in the stands, I was sitting there, and it's embarrassing to say, but I kind of did the, oh, like the holy grace that I am sitting here right now, and it was amazing. They had to tap on the window and let me know that it was my turn because I was just so ecstatic that I was there and I was going to run down that track. And it was amazing. I didn't do anything good. It went faster at the time. And then, of course, your fastest pass always turns into it always breaks. So, unfortunately, that was several years ago, back when the car didn't run 8s, but it had a lifter go bad on me. But I was back to racing 2 days later, thanks to the folks over at Legend Racing. Doug Roden takes care of me, and so we dropped it off that night, and I was back racing before the end of the weekend.
Now, have you ever ran at Cordova?
I have not. That is actually on the schedule for this season. Dominic Palasko is a close friend of mine, and I need to get out there because I miss him and Terry, and that's on the schedule.
Now, how about the other track in Wisconsin?
Which one?
I keep forgetting.
WIR?
Yeah, WIR, Wisconsin International Raceway. There you go.
No, I have never been to WIR. I have been to US 41 out in Indiana with my boyfriend multiple times, and that is a very nice location, and I think I'm actually going to adventure out there and make some passes there this season, too.
I know Tuff's doing another event out there at WIR.
Yeah, I saw that. I won't be there. I'm not fast enough for all that.
So now, have you ever ran against the Red Baron?
Oh, yes. That is my favorite person to race.
So how many times have you raced Mike?
I have raced Mike probably over 6 or 7 times, and I've beat him more than not. But it's always a good drag race. We are very evenly matched, and it's always a good time. I have to say that the very first race I did lose, and it was a bet for sandwiches. I wanted a turkey and cheese, and he wanted what's called a fluffernutter, and it's peanut butter and fluff, something or another. And he got the best 2 out of 3, and so I had to pay up with a sandwich. But it's a really good time. I love racing Red Baron.
Yeah, that's where me and my wife go most of the time because that's like the closest track. It's like 20 minutes from us.
Yeah, no, I love the Grove. I'm there multiple times a week during the summer. I'm super excited to have the honor of running Ladies' Night again this year. So every Wednesday, I believe starting in late April, Ladies' Night, Wednesday, they get in, they race for free, and I get to share my passion with ladies and teach them or instruct how to just drive their daily drivers down the racetrack and hand out a trophy at the end of the night for a bracket race. And then the winner of my ladies race gets to race a guy, because there's also a guy bracket race. They don't win anything, but they come out and compete, so it's battle of sexes, and it's an honor that they let me do this and let me host that event at their racetrack every Wednesday, and I get to share this passion with other ladies.
So now what happened to you last year at that event, the one I videotaped? You lost that race.
Which one?
The one, wasn't that the makeup date for the Labor Day weekend, I think?
Oh, or was it the Index Series?
No, I didn't go to the Index Series. It was either the makeup date for the Time Machine.
Yeah, it was the 950 class. It was the last 950
race. You're right.
Yep. That was the probably most heartbreaking day of my life. So that was the final 950 race of the season, and I went into that race holding the number 1 spot in points. In the 15 years I've been doing this, I have never held the number 1 spot going into the finals. And so that was for the championship, and I qualified number 1. So I went from 2 points ahead to about 6, got the bye run, and all I had to do was make that 1 pass, and I would have clinched the championship. Unfortunately, there was some track delays, and they had started and stopped us a couple times, and unfortunately, when I came around out of the short staging lanes, the car wouldn't restart. And it's an unfortunate event. It's very devastating for me and my team that we went out that way, but I guess that's racing, and I held my head high as I could, but it was definitely devastating because that was a championship that I should have definitely won. But it ain't going to put me down. I'm going to go back out and try it all over again next year.
So are you doing any changes to the car over the winter?
Well, we did have it freshened up. I have started to do a little bit of grudge racing, the Street Wars series at the Grove, the heads-up 8th mile instant green clock soft stuff. So I don't know who listens to podcasts, so I'm going to just keep that one a secret.
All right. So now that you've been doing this for like 15 years, who's inspirational to you out there that's doing drag racing?
Oh, gosh. It takes an army to make my operation run. We're about as hillbilly as they come, but you walk up, we're going to offer you some food and some beers and some water, but my dad, obviously, he pushed me into this car because when I was 15, or actually I was 18 at the time, I said American garbage because I was straight up import. But that import got sold about a day later, and I had a 2004 GTO right away. But so my dad, obviously, and my late mother, she had a hand in building the car that I drive today. And a huge, huge person is Ken Sweetwood. I call him Daddy Ken. He's my dad's best friend and also my right-hand man. If it wasn't for him, chances are I wouldn't get most of the opportunities I have. And then after some failed, lost money spent, I've now been with Legend Racing out in Schaumburg, Doug Roden and Steve Roden for I think it's going to be the 13th year, and they've never failed me. They never let me down. They gave me a very strong car. I'll remind you that it is a horsepower car. It is not a nitrous car, and the numbers that it runs on all motor is highly impressive for the setup we have going on. So, of course, the Great Lakes Dragway track staff, the owners, they take very good care of me. And my newly found boyfriend, he's definitely put his time and effort into it, and I can't thank him enough. So it takes an army to run this crew. I'm not the best at what I do, but for some reason people stick around.
So how many crew members do you have for your car?
It's usually me. I like to do some solo racing. Daddy Ken, he's always with me. And my boyfriend, Chris, he's putting a big hand in it. So it's going to be a good 2019. We got some exciting new setups that we're going to try out, and it will expand hopefully. But the 2 to 3 person crew. Some days it's just me.
Do you currently have any sponsors?
I do not. But if anyone would like to sponsor an 84 Firebird that races probably 4 to 5 times a month, let me know.
All right, so you heard that. If anyone wants to be a sponsor, Sarah will take you. So now, as far as at the Grove other drag races, are there any drivers at the Grove that are, that inspire you out when you're over there?
I mean, there is a lot of amazing drivers out there. I appreciate the guys that do the no prep stuff because I think that takes a lot of skill and a lot of heart. But really, I'm not a fangirl of anyone in particular at the moment.
What about like the Pro E85 guys?
Oh, I love the Pro. They're so sweet. Their whole crew is just good crew. The ladies that run that, they have their stuff together, and I appreciate that a lot. Frank Morgan, I do love to watch him race. But yeah, those guys, they put on a show, and I appreciate that, and they keep the show running.
What do you think about the Chicago Wise guys?
The Chicago Wise guys, I just had a Facebook memory come up yesterday, so that's funny you mentioned that. And it was of Doug Roden winning the 2010 championship. And I appreciate the Wise guys. I think that I wish I could be in that caliber of racing. Unfortunately, I'll never be there, but I would like to see more and a lot more successful paths.
How about the Classic American Muscle Association?
Is that like the Gasser group?
It's or
is that Kenny Thatcher's group?
That's the one Tina runs in that group. Tina Baccaro.
Oh yes. That group, yes. Sorry, there's a lot of groups that run there, so I always forget them. But yes, Tina, she is my girl. Tina, if you're listening, you're always going to be my girl. And she was the first one at the end of the return road and ripped me out of my car the very first time I ever won a race. And it was the best day of my life. I was just thinking about it the other day driving to work, that feeling when I came down the return road and was greeted with a large group of people. It'll always be in my memory.
So what was the feeling like the first time you ever went down a drag strip?
Well, I was in a Honda Prelude. It was a 5-speed, and I stalled before the burnout box because I was shaking and let go of the clutch and stalled. And after that first pass, it was pretty much over from there. And when I turned 17, I said, "Dad, do you want to see what I do on the weekends?" Not knowing that he heard me pull in the driveway at 4 a.m. and do the tip check to the door, so nobody knew I was home after I put it in neutral and pushed it in. I took him up to the Grove for the first time, and he went into Torque Alley, came back out, saw me come down the return road, and he's like, "What did you just do?" And I go, "Well, Daddy, I didn't have Windex in my trunk because I cleaned my car. It was to wipe off the numbers." And he's like, "Okay." And he wasn't into racing at the time. And then 2-3 years later, he built the Firebird, and here we are today.
No, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So
I couldn't do it without him.
So what kind of preparation goes into getting that car ready for a weekend of drag racing?
It all happens on the day of. The best thing about the Firebird is we're low maintenance. If that hood comes up, we're draining the puke tank, we're checking some plugs, but otherwise, that's about it. The car is built solid for the least amount of maintenance, and that's what we get to enjoy. The fans, we get to enjoy the groups that come out to see us race because we don't have to spend huge amount of time in between rounds or in between races. It's built solid to do what it needs to do.
All right. Now, do you have any pre-race rituals or superstitions when you're out there?
No. I kiss the back sticker with my hand for my mother. She always, when she was here with us and I was racing the car, I would go see her before a big race, and she'd say, "Go out and kick some boys' ass," and gave me a kiss. And so I try to kiss the sticker. Otherwise, I just try to stay focused and hold my breath and hope for the best.
Now, after all these years of drag racing, what still keeps you passionate about doing it?
I couldn't tell. There's just the feeling that I get when I put that helmet on my head. I'm in another world. If I've had a bad day, I can go up there, and the only thing I can do by myself and feel comfortable. I'm not one to go to the mall by myself, but I'll go to the racetrack any day of the week and just feel at peace. I don't know what I would do without racing. It drives me nuts. I hate winter, and if there's the lights out race, the feed, I was attached to it just because, as my dad and Ken will tell you, I am addicted, and that's what I love to do.
All right, now being a female racer with the days of sexism long gone, thanks to some of the great female drivers that have been there racing. I'm sure it still exists from time to time, but what's it like to be the guy?
It doesn't. At first, it would bother me. Like when I first was starting to get into it, it was tough. I had some encounters where they would question why I was in the car, but I think after so many years, it's become a norm. Like there's going to be female racers and you're going to line up with them. I still get the competitiveness, but when I pull up to that starting line and that first light in the pre-stage beam comes on, I don't care who you are next to me. My only goal is to cut that light and grab that win. And so I look at it like I'm just one of them and hope they respect it.
So what kind of advice can you give a young female driver that might feel intimidated?
Don't be. That's why I organized the Wednesday ladies night. I do that out. I'm not paid to be there. I am there every week on Wednesday because this is my passion. And if anything, I want more ladies to understand. It doesn't matter how fast you go. There's a race out there for everyone, whether it's bracket racing, index. Everyone starts somewhere. And the more ladies that we bring into it, the better off we're going to be. So don't be intimidated.
So what's your favorite track to run at?
What's that?
What's your favorite track to run at?
Union Grove, obviously, because, I mean, it's 30 minutes away. But of course, 66 is like, you just feel different when you go there, but of course it takes different requirements to go race there, but Union Grove that's where I grew up and that's where I'll stay.
Now, where do you get your like fire safety suit, your fire safety equipment from?
Currently I am wearing Shroud. I had a custom fitted suit and helmet and stuff like that. I think my next one will probably be an Impact, but we'll see what happens with that.
Now, what would you consider to be some of the milestones of your drag racing career so far?
Oh, gosh. Well, the first 8-second pass I made was the best day of my life. Sadly, I was actually there by myself, and so I had to call my dad to tell him that the car that he built went 8. But, and it didn't just go 899, it went like 898, so I was super excited, and it was the best day of my life. Another milestone, a sad but true milestone, was about 2 years ago I hit the wall, and that was a huge learning curve. I had lost steering when I came down from a wheelie, but that was something that's always going to happen. Everyone's going to hit the wall at one point in life. It's sad to say, knock on wood, it doesn't happen the most, but that was a huge learning curve because it was at the end of the season, and it took a lot of strength to get comfortable in that car again, and I'm proud to say that I was able to do it. It was not for a lack of an army, again, that takes to run this car, but one day I decided me and the race car alone were going to go test, and with the help of Don DeBeer, he was able to get me comfortable in that car after 10 different track visits, and I never made a full pass. With some coaching from him and a good track to run on, it got me back in the swing of things, and I've never been more comfortable in the car since.
Well, knock on wood, you won't have any more accidents.
Oh, gosh, no.
All right, now we're going to do some fun questions here before we finish up the interview. You have any hobbies outside of drag racing, Sarah?
Work. I every day I wake up and I get to do something that is heartwarming. I work for a company called Don Johnston, and we develop reading and writing tools for special needs kids. And so every day I get to have a rewarding feeling that I've helped encourage a student be able to learn how to read or write. Otherwise, I have a dog, and she's my world, and she's looking at me right now as I talk about her. And, my hobbies consist of that and talking about drag racing.
All right. So now, if you could do time traveling, go backwards in time, would you do anything differently with the drag race career?
No, I wouldn't. It's been, some years are better than others. I've had my fair share of scares, but I think the experiences I've had have made me the driver I am today with the help of a lot of good legends out there. Doug, Dominic Palasko. There's a handful of folks that have helped me become the driver I am today, and I think that they see it as well.
So how many trophies, plaques, stuff like that have you won through your career?
5. I know. For somebody that races as much as I do, you would think I'd have, way more. No.
Now, do you have a greatest competitor out there?
Well, I used to. I had Steve Heidloff in the 950 class, who I had beat twice. But right now, it's anyone that lines up. I don't care who you are, I'm going to try. So it doesn't matter who's in the other lane. I'm just going to give it my all and hope for that light to come on.
All right. So now, if you and your boyfriend have time to go on vacation, do you guys have a favorite vacation getaway?
Not yet. But I'm going to say that we're planning an out-of-state test session with his car, so I think that's going to be the vacation getaway, and I would want nothing more than to go racing than anything else.
All right, so what's your favorite food to eat?
Ooh, well, before January 1st, I would say chicken Alfredo, but I'm on keto, which I'm going to give up soon because clearly it ain't working. But, so right now it's chicken and zucchini.
Chicken and zucchini?
Yeah.
All right. What's your favorite beverage to drink?
Well, besides water, I would say Monster Zero. Or vodka and Sprite.
Vodka and Sprite. So, what's your favorite movie of all time?
That's a hard one. It's going to be between Top Gun or Days of Thunder.
All right. Favorite music?
Country, of course. Garth Brooks, Friends of Low Places.
Are you a fan of the newer country music?
Yeah, some of it.
Now, what was your favorite cartoon growing up as a kid?
My favorite what?
Your favorite cartoon when you were growing up?
Ooh, that's hard. I don't know. Probably Rugrats.
All right. What about TV? Did you have a favorite TV show when you were young?
No. The OC. I used to love the OC.
Now, currently, do you been watch any shows on TV?
You're the Worst is my favorite show. Otherwise, The Good Doctor is amazing because I work with the population that The Good Doctor is. So, of course, that's encouraging to me. The Resident, some of those other Chicago PD fire shows, but otherwise I try to watch as much live speed racing as possible.
All right. Now, when you're at the track racing, do you eat regularly? Do you eat very light and then wait till after races are done?
Oh yeah. I for some reason have a hard time eating once that fire suit goes on. If I eat anything, it upsets my stomach. So it's a little light stuff here and there just to keep me going, and then definitely once I'm done for the day, you can bet that there might be a double cheeseburger in hand.
Now, if you weren't a drag racer, what do you think you'd be doing?
I have no idea.
All right. What's been the most embarrassing moment you had on the track?
It had to be when I put it up on the parachute mount. I had gone racing the previous weekend alone and had made some suspension adjustments that I kind of didn't remember when I got to the Grove that following weekend, and I did a humongous burnout, which on a radial, I probably overheated the tire, so I didn't think anything of it, and let go of the button, and it went up on the parachute mount and slammed back down, and I got out and screamed like a lunatic while laughing, and yeah, that was kind of embarrassing. I should have wrote it out.
Yeah. Now, what would you consider to be the fondest memory of your drag racing career?
Honest memory?
Fondest. The best, the greatest.
Oh, gosh, that has to be the day that I won the 950 race. Won the whole 950 race, and I'm pretty sure I came down the return road as fast as I went down the racetrack, because that wind light came on, and oh, if there would have been a camera in that car, that would have been very embarrassing. But I came down that road, and there had to be 30, 40 people just waiting, because I'm sure that they have been all waiting for that win as long as I have for, at the time, 13 years. I've never won a race, but that was the best day of my life.
So now, Sarah, how important do you think it is for kids to come out and watch drag racing in this day and age?
Oh gosh, I think it's amazing. That is also one of the reasons I keep doing what I do. Some crews they have a lot of maintenance in between rounds, and I get that, and their cars are way faster. The nice thing about the simpleness of my car is that I get the time to enjoy the simple things, which is if a small kid comes up and wants to take a picture with the car, I take the time, and my favorite thing to do is just put them, say, hey, how about we just put my fire jacket on you and strap you in the seat and put the helmet on, and I feel like that is just, I would never want to give that up.
Yeah, if we tear a lot of these kids away from the video games, maybe they come out to the track, maybe they'll love drag racing.
Yeah.
Too much technology is taking up too much stuff out of these kids' lives.
Yeah, technology and the bad in the world. I feel like when you pull through the gates at the racetrack, you're at the racetrack. I'm not one. I post updates here and there, but I feel like when I'm there, unless it's to my dad or boyfriend, if they're not there, I really try to disconnect. If anything, I check in at the racetrack, so therefore anyone that knows me, if you're trying to get a hold of me, you're not gonna, because I'm doing what I love, and I'm enjoying that moment, and I don't need my phone.
All right, so now what's the best way for people to find out where you're going to be racing at? You're like a schedule. What's the best way for the people to find your schedule?
Yeah, so right now my plan is, they can look at the GLD, the Great Lakes Dragway schedule. I'm going to be running the Friday, every third Friday, starting I think in April, is the track rentals. So during the day, between 12 and 7 p.m., we'll go up and we'll race just to do some test and tune. I'm going to be running in the Street Wars, the 8 Mile Heads Up Box Off event again. I'm on a mission. I need to win the big cardboard check that they give out to the winner there. And then I'll be running the Nitro Streetcar Brawl as well. I am going to try to make some I want to say it's like the Cordova radial race. I'm not sure what it's called exactly, but
Is that like
I'm going to try to make some of those.
Is that like the River Redemption, something like that?
There you go. Yeah, that's what it is. So I'm going to try to make some of those races as well. So that's the plan so far.
Cool. Well, you have any final words or thank yous you want to give out or anything like that?
I just want to thank everyone who's supported me all this time. Not that I do anything impressive, but I keep trying. And hopefully in 2019 I'll be in that winner's circle again. But otherwise I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And I appreciate everyone's help and supporting me. And I just am dying to get back behind my wheel of my race car.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking time to do an interview, Sarah, and wish you the best of luck for the 2019 race season.
Of course. Thank you, Dave, for giving me this opportunity. I will say this is my first podcast I've ever done, so I kind of feel honored. I feel a little special. And when you and your wife are at the racetrack, stop by the trailer for sure.
Definitely will. Well, you have a great night.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.